Hey everyone, Nick here. I'm quite excited. I get to do one of my first videos for you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about controlling your temperature during fermentation. So when I first started brewing, I didn't really worry about controlling the temperature just because I was more worried about the process. And once I got the process down, that's when I really moved on to worrying about controlling my temperature. But since we got Brewie here, the process is already done for us and it's done perfectly. It controls the temperature during the mash cycles and adds the hops at the precise times. So we don't have to worry about that. So now we have to worry about controlling your temperature during fermentation. So ale yeast normally likes to be kept around 65 to 72 Fahrenheit or 20 to 22 Celsius. Lager yeast is much colder. That's usually a step process, but it's like right now I'm actually lagering one at 35 Fahrenheit. So if you guys want to get into lagering, we can definitely talk about that, but I say let's save that for another day just because that can get really complicated. So most times when we're first starting out, we just try to find a warm room in the house that's usually around 65 to 72 degrees. So usually my basement is the perfect place for that. Winter or summer, it usually stays right around there. Problem is, can't really store it in the basement too much. There's really not that much room. So I graduated to the garage, as you can see. So I had to worry about hot, cold, the temperature changes. So I've actually experimented on quite a few different ways of doing it. The one really easy, cheap way is evaporating cooling or evaporated cooling. And it's where you just get a bin like this, put your fermenter in there, you fill it up to the same level or below what's in there in the bucket or carboy. This way it doesn't start floating. You don't want that. And the water evaporating will actually control the temperature of there. It will naturally cool it because during primary fermentation, your wort will actually heat up and you don't want it to get too hot. Once you get above 80 degrees, you're really going to start getting a lot of bad flavors out of it. So that's one way, very cheap, very easy. The other way, so I didn't have to worry about cooling, I had to worry about heating. So I did the same thing. I used the big bin, filled it with water, put my carboys in there, and I just put a fish aquarium heater. That's all you really need. Throw it in there, set the temperature. It has a built-in temperature right there, and it will keep it at a steady state the whole time. Nice, cheap, easy. You don't have to worry about it. Set it, forget it. So, but I mean, there's other ways. You can do space heaters. You can do portable AC units. A lot of people will use mini fridges. Mini fridges are great because they're already an enclosed area. The only challenge with that is you need a temperature controller. So you can either buy one that's already pre-built, or you can get like the ST100 and build your own. If you guys are interested in that, I can help you out. They're really pretty easy to build, not anything too difficult, but let's focus on one thing at a time here. So I mean, there are a lot of really cool products coming out now, like the Brew Jacket. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's actually it's a metal rod that goes down into the beer and it has a big heat sink on top of it. And that rod actually grabs the heat or the coldness of the wort and brings it up and will either cool it or heat it, depending on what you're trying to do. So it's a really cool process. Swamp coolers. I actually seen some swamp coolers on our Facebook page. They are a really cool design. If you get a chance, check them out. They work wonderfully, but the downside is you have to keep changing the ice. So you're always watching it. It's not something you can sit and forget. Mini fridge with temperature controller, you can set it and forget it. The other thing that some people use are the Peltier chips. This chip is actually pretty cool because what they'll do is when you apply a 12 volt DC to it, one side gets really hot, one side gets really cold. Now the hot side, you have to put a heat sink on so the chip doesn't burn up. If you don't, it will burn itself up and actually it will be trash then. The great thing with those is if you reverse polarity, you can actually use the same chip to heat and cool. So I actually use conicals, and I'll take a picture, I'll add it. So I use a relay and I switch back and forth and just move the polarity back and forth. This way I can heat and cool and keep it perfect. There's a lot of cool things that I've seen people do. People have used chest freezers out there where they would get a chest freezer, you put your carboys in there, and you use a temperature controller to chill it. And then if you need to heat it, I've seen people take a light bulb and put it into a paint can, and the paint can will heat up. You can't use an LED or a compact flashlight. You need the incandescent, so you get the heat from it. It'll heat up, and then your temperature probe inside will actually turn it off when it gets to the desired temperature. So that's another cool way of doing it. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you want to know about the Peltier setup, I can definitely help you out. I've played around with it a lot. Unfortunately, I have not gotten the Peltier set up to do lagering. I just couldn't get it to go that low. So frustrating, but I have a mini fridge, which I can also take a picture of, show you guys. That's what I use my lagering. I usually do all my primary in my conicals, transfer into a secondary, and then it goes to the refrigerator for lagering. So let me know if you need any help. I'm always here. Brew strong, guys. Thanks.